Shipmates, Commander Dave Heck from My Navy HR with some news you can use about ID cards, specifically if you've got one that is now expired. Mr. Chuck Sexton from Naval Personnel Command joins us in. Chuck, what's the deal with ID cards? I know we just passed an important deadline.
Well, the CAT cards that were due to extend on 30 September will expire and need to be reissued. The dependent ID cards have been extended until June of 2021, so we're good to go with that.
Okay. I know that we've seen right here on the My Navy HR Facebook page a number of comments about backlog, specifically in the Norfolk area. What's being done to decrease the backlog so people with expired ID cards can get an appointment and get a new ID card?
Yes, sir. We've increased the number of hours at almost all 68 sites since 14 September going through 3 October at all of the ID card labs, taking on manual appointments over the phone at each ID card lab as well. No one will get off the phone without having an appointment either at that ID card location or another ID card location. Please be patient because the phone lines are very busy. So call back if you get a busy signal. So we're open. We were open at 50 sites last weekend, and we're going to open up as many sites as we can on Saturday of this weekend, 3 October.
Saturday hours, which is kind of unusual for those ID card sites. What does a sailor have to do to set up an appointment? How do they set up an appointment?
ID cards appointments are made available for expiring or expired ID cards. The online scheduler may not affect the open slots due to the backlog process. Call your local ID card office, look up on the Rapids ID scheduler, and you'll be able to get the ID card office phone number. You call in there and they'll make an appointment for you.
All right. And then you mentioned it before. I want to go back to it again. My spouse, my wife, is one of them who has an expired ID card. What about spouses? What about their ID cards?
Spouse's ID card, as long as the sponsor is active in DEERS, the sponsor's ID card is good until June of 2021.
You know, everybody thinks that they're a priority. Who or what makes somebody a priority in this process?
Expiring CAT cards are priorities, lost or stolen ID cards, CAT pin resets, and initial ID cards issuance.
Okay, so if you fall under one of those categories, you are a priority.
Absolutely.
All right. So I would ask you, what can people do if they have a question? But I can tell everybody the answer, and that is, shipmates, put your question right in the comment section below, and Chuck himself will make sure that he gets you an answer. So if you got a question, just put it in the comment section below. Chuck, thank you very much for your time and answering all of our questions today.
Roger that. Have a good day, sir.
You too. Thanks for watching, everybody.